Alright, Shalom, Akim. This is Brother Mashaba coming back at you with another lesson. First, before I get into it, I want to give all honor and glory to hold on. I can't. Yahweh Bahashim Yahshai, Bahashim Kagudash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the citations to all the brothers that are pushing the truth with both sincerity and with charity. Alright, so the topic I wanted to get into is that, in this truth, the battle is won, when you're tired. Actually, in anything in general, man, the battle is won when you're tired. Okay? Take, for example, if you do any type of sports, all right, it's easy to win, okay, when you first going, you shooting your first couple jump shots, you take your first, couple jabs, double leg takedowns, whatever. If it's easy to win when you feel good, okay? But when, crunch time comes in, all right, and you tired, your opponent is tired, all right, it seems like you about to pass out, you can barely do this, barely do that. That is when it's winning time. That's the time to win, okay? If you conquer in your mind, because look, your opponent is tired too. Esau tired of us. We keep on pushing the truth, going out to the highways and byways. These let's just keep on coming up. All right, AI, no AI, whatever Esau trying to do, it don't stop us, man. All right. So back to the analogy I was saying, that's when it's time to win. All right, you never know that one overhand right gonna knock your opponent clean out, man. Okay, the battle is won when you're tired. Okay, but this is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Okay? So, yeah, man. The Lord is giving his strength to those, all right? Or giving strength to those, who wait and are patient and continue and endure, man. Okay? All right, you gotta really, put this in your mind, man. All right? When, it seems like, your spirit is low or this or that, you just going through the motions. That's, when, the Lord is looking at you the most to see if you're gonna fold or you're gonna rise up, man. If you're gonna fold or, conquer your own mind, your own spirit, to strengthen itself. Okay? Because, yes, you may be tired, but you got to keep pushing. You got to remember, this is for salvation. All right? The Lord didn't sacrifice himself for nothing, man. Okay? And a lot of brothers say this too because, it's true. All right? When you first, come in this truth, all right, you're doing this and that, you feel like you can do 10 lessons, in a week, hit up, 3 camp sessions, in a week, this and that, reading, 6 times a day, but, as time goes on, it starts to wear on you, you start doing less and less, all right, and you're going to have those times when it just seems like, you can only squeeze out a little. All right, but you got to pray for consistency, all right, to get back up, man, okay? You ain't make a vow to Yahweh outside to give up, man, okay? But this is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief, okay? The wicked shall fall into mischief, all right? These niggas are the ones that is going to quit, when it's tough, all right, and some other shit, All right, you know the saying. All right, hard times create strong men. All right, we going through hard times right now, man. Okay, it's gonna weed out who's the strong and who's the weak. All right, who you know is truly in it for Yahweh Shem Shai, and who's in it just you know just us to feel like they are a part of something. Okay, because even if you was in this truth and you felt like you was always a nigga, it's the scriptures that says they were not of us, because if they were of us, they no doubt would have continued with us, man. Okay, they would have no doubt continued with us. Okay, and that's the thing about this truth. All right, nigga, you will fall out. You will fall out, man. You quit. Okay, and then shit. The hardest times ain't even right now, man. All right, it's gonna be during Jacob's trouble. All right, yes, the Lord, He's not gonna let His servant starve, but there may be a little period of time where the Lord has you going through a very tough time during Jacob's trouble to approve you. All right, that's gonna be the final test for us. Jacob's trouble, man. Esau trying to come at us, telling us to take that MOTB, taking our videos down. All right, putting us in concentration camps. All right, shooting us down here and there. All right, but we gotta stand, man. All right. So this Proverbs 20, a little bit up in that chapter, Proverbs 24:10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Okay. Man. Okay. And I hear this, from coaches a lot. All right, in any sports, all right, whether it be to other players or shit, even me, all right, they say if you start to, yes, it's tough to play when you're tired, but if you just quit when you're tired, man, all right, if you just, let everything go, then you soft, man. You soft, okay? We are men of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. We are the prophets, man. Okay? We are Yahweh Shai's friends. All right, because we preaching this truth. All right? The Lord Himself considers us friends because of this work. Okay? Shalaki. All right, but this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. So yeah, all right, you taking a vow, man. All right, you gonna know what you signed up for, bro. Okay. This truth is not a soft, easy road, because it's not for soft, easy men. Okay, go to the churches with that shit, man. Okay, with the pastors and the mega churches. All right, that's taking the easy route. Okay. Verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Okay? Constantly endure. Make not haste in time of trouble. As I say, let's say you in a, me myself, I'm a wrestler and I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man, all right? You could be winning or losing the match, okay? And you start to make haste because, the clock is, winding down, and you got to win, or, you're going to lose, or you got to get a finish or whatever, or you're going to lose, all right? Instead of, actually setting up a good takedown or whatever, you make haste, and, now the match is over. You lost, okay? All right, because you decided to just, go in there without a plan. All right, that's like going in a dangerous situation without Yahweh Shai, without, praying. Okay? Seek counsel from the Lord, man. And He's going to guide your way. That's simple. Verse 3, cleave unto Him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So yeah. Alright, so is you gonna prove yourself to be a true man of Yahweh Shai? Or is you gonna, let yourself, go down like a soft ass, okay? Like a punk. Like the rest of the two-thirds in this world, like a soft ass nigga, man. Okay? The winning comes when you get tired. Okay? The battle is won when you're tired. Alright? So yeah, man, just remember that. If you feeling, down in the spirit, you feeling just, burned out, worn out, whatever, that's when you try your hardest. That's what the Lord is looking at. Okay? He's gonna give that increase if you give the effort. Alright, but that's all I wanted to get into with this lesson. So with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai, Ba'ashim Kakudash. Second thing I want to do is give double honor to all the elders and apostles of the millstone, and the salutations to all of your brothers that are pushing this truth with both sincerity and with charity. Shalom, wa kwam yasharal, wa ababa. Shalom, stay faithful.